Hey everyone, Bardi Toto here. I am the author of The Power of Asking, Creating All That You Want. And I want to talk to you today for 2023, first of all, Happy New Year, about the power of asking and how it has totally changed my life. And I want you to chew on something a minute. Asking is a form of gratitude. When you ask, you're allowing somebody to give back to you. And asking comes in so many different ways. If I had never asked, and I'm not just talking about asking, I'm going to give you some examples on several forms of asking, I would not have the opportunities I do, the life I live, the business that I have, or anything else. So, a friend request is an ask. Now, a lot of people have said, how did I get to Walker Hayes? How did I get Starbucks to follow me? How did I get American Airlines to engage with me? How have I gotten all these untouchable people? And I don't say that stuff to impress you, but to impress upon you its power. It started with a friend request. My friend request with Walker Hayes. We built a relationship. He said, I love what you're doing with gratitude. I said, I would love to interview you on my podcast called Disrupt Your Brand. And he said, yes. A lot of people are intimidated by people of notoriety. I've been honored to be in Forbes magazine and Entrepreneur magazine around the power of asking and gratitude, as well as on TV about 40 times. And a lot of people come to me and they want to talk to me, and then I don't know, they get intimidated or cold feet or run away. People now I feel that I'm not as big as like Walker Hayes. I mean, even though everyone puts their clothes on the same way and so forth, these people of notoriety, they're no different than we are. With Walker, it started with an ask, and he says, I love what you're doing with the gratitude piece. And from there, I interviewed his best friend, Craig, and I've interviewed Rudy Sarzo from Quiet Riot, who's just an amazing person. I've talked to DJ Ashba about interviewing him around disrupting your brand. And it all started with a friend request. People say, how did you meet Sammy Hagar? How did you, get to the nightclub and bar show to work with these people? And it all started with the friend request, whether it was LinkedIn, whether it was Facebook, whether it was Instagram. I happen to know how to get to the right people. And at these shows, it's something I teach on. But it all started with the friend requests. Now, a lot of people have a problem asking. Myself, I want you to chew on this, is in the past, was it when you raised your hand, the teacher didn't call on you? Or maybe you learned it from the Bible. The old Bible said, women to be submissive to their husbands. Therefore, they felt they didn't have a voice and didn't ask. It's true. Or a different culture. Maybe you come from a culture or, you're raised to where you have asked and been let down so much in your life that you're afraid of asking. I come from a family of alcoholism. That's my family of origin, where I had a lot of letdowns in my life and didn't ask. In fact, I didn't even realize I had a voice until 2005. And that is pretty recently, if you think about it. And I started asking and I started speaking, and the rest is history. Someone is trying to call me and interrupting my thought. So I want you to think about why you don't ask, because we're about to do a mastermind and a class on asking. And I want you to click the link below, reach out to me, because it will totally change your life. There's another side of asking. Women who have been emotionally abused, domestic violence. If you're watching this, a lot of women are afraid of asking for help. I have been a victim of emotional abuse. This is my year of transparency. After I had COVID and a mild heart attack in July, I had to put my own asking to test because I had COVID brain, I had memory issues, everything. I have been a victim of emotional abuse in the past, and had to ask for help. And that is very hard because, people say, well, you can just leave or, don't talk to them anymore. But sometimes the situation is hard not to get out of. And some of you watching say, you're a person of notoriety, you've written 9 books, you've done all this. How would you allow that to happen? Like I said, my family of origin is alcoholism and I'm not perfect. And so this year I want to be real and transparent with y'all with, domestic violence. A lot of women are afraid of asking. They make excuses and lie to themselves. And I've been that someone will change, that they're just being abusive because, they're going through this, or it was COVID, or they lost their parents, or whatever it was. And you make excuses for them without asking for help. You're afraid of the ramifications of getting out of that. That's on the domestic violence side. Asking is a very good form for healthy mental health. Asking for help. Asking, for assistance. Maybe you don't know something that somebody else does. Like, for me, I'm very open to giving out my phone number on the internet, so that people can call me. And if they have a question, yes. Do I charge for my masterminds? Do I charge for my courses? Yeah, I do. But the other side of asking, and I want you to think about this, was it because like in 2nd grade, I remember we had these time tests and I was never called on. I was not good at math. So I raised my hand and never got called on. So I thought, well, I'm just not going to ask. And I realized that is where it started. And so I actually wrote a workbook that I want to help people with in coaching of what labels did we believe? What was put on us that, we don't ask? And what was our belief system as why we don't ask? The Bible says, ask and it shall be given you. And what's funny is we go to ask God for things, but the people that come into our life, the opportunities, we self-sabotage, we shut out. I mean, Michael Beckwith came to me and said he would write the foreword of my book. Now, how did this happen? And how did I get involved with Gary Vee? With Gary Vee, it was a form of gratitude. I made a video about Wine Library saying how much I loved what he was doing. And with Michael Beckwith, I did a testimonial, and he calls me on the phone and he says, I'd love to write the foreword for you, and guess what? I froze and I self-sabotaged. I froze and it messed up everything. And I lost money, I lost opportunities. It took the book 2 years to come out further because of my freezing. A lot of coaches, if you're watching, you teach people life coaching, but you have a problem asking. I had a woman come to me earlier this year that said, I'd love to work with you. I want to do certain things in 2023. And then she just vanished on me, disappeared. But I know it has nothing to do with me. It's something with her. And she's working through her not receiving. So there's the asking part and the receiving. Just know that you are deserving, that you deserve the money, you deserve the respect, you deserve everything that you could dream of in life. I want you to think about, if you only had 48 hours to live, seriously, what are some of the things that you would want to do? My mentor asked me this in 2008. She says, if you had 48 hours, what would you do? And I said, go skydiving. I'd want Michael Beckwith to write the foreword of my book. I'd like to write a book. I'd like to do all this stuff. Well, I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened. Within 4 weeks, I had done everything on that list because a fire was lit up under me. And, I know this is kind of a long video, but contact me, reach out to me, join the mastermind that we're going to do so that you can change your whole life. I want you to change your whole life. I want you to change your, asking changes relationships. Asking, it's a form of communication. Some of you, including myself, had problems communicating in their life. And it has ruined you. You have destroyed relationships. You have regrets from not asking. You might not even ask for a raise. I know that my former husband of 17, he was on a job for 17 years and he never asked for a raise. And he said, because they're going to pick someone younger, I might get fired. Those are what ifs, okay? That fear is based on what might happen, not what actually is going to happen. So I hope that you're watching this video and you can identify with some of the things I'm telling you, and you say, oh my gosh, that's me. Or maybe you're in a relationship that's just really toxic and you want out and you're not sure how to ask for help. Or you want to charge more money and you're afraid of asking because you're listening to the news and the TV about the economy and, you're not going to ask. Or even in retail sales. I teach social media and branding and retail sales. I teach how to implement gratitude into your brand, and I teach how to implement gratitude on social media so that you can make more money. And that is an ask. And so, it's healthy for you to ask. And if you are afraid of asking, or you're afraid of receiving, when you ask, you feel butterflies in your stomach, you feel like you want to puke. You're like, I dare not ask my husband because he's going to say no. Or, I want to ask my spouse to treat me with better respect because, I'm tired of being a doormat, but you're afraid to because you're just going to get slammed. Or that you've been working at this job for a long time and that you deserve a raise, but you just are petrified to ask. Contact me. Maybe you're in retail sales and you need to change your business around asking. I'm not talking about just asking verbally, but on social media. Maybe it's changing your prices. Maybe I want you to think it's really healthy to ask. And many of you I know can identify with me. It's a huge problem. Like I told on myself, I've had a problem with receiving and asking and receiving. And I'm actually writing a book for churches around the power of asking and receiving. Stop sabotaging what God wants for you. And whether you're a Christian or not, I'm not here to offend you. Whether you're Buddhist, Muslim, you believe in the law of attraction, you're taught to ask the universe for things, but then when the universe brings them to you, you're like, I'm busy today. I got to be here at 3:00. Or you have the best person that comes in your life. You have a great person that comes into your life and you're constantly pushing them away. And because you feel you're undeserving or something happened to you in the past with an ex or a spouse. And so you bring that baggage onto them. It all goes with asking, and receiving. So I want you to think about that. Please click the link below, get a hold of me, change your life, change your business, change everything. It's healthy for you. And I love you guys. And, I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I hope that I touch on so many different aspects of asking that I hope one of them you can relate to. And men, I love you guys. I know a lot of people, different cultures, pride, ego, you have a problem with asking, but I am here for you. And it will build a better relationship, whether it's in your business, your career, everything around asking, and it's healthy mentally. Okay. I hope you get a lot out of this. Bye-bye.